This training video provides an overview of the Vincentian Case Management System, which is known as CMS. It will securely store information about the conference, about the friends and neighbors that we assist. It will track cases and track the assistance that we provide to our friends and neighbors. It will track and reconcile all financial transactions and will generate reports, including the monthly conference report. You might ask, why should I change? I'm happy with the spreadsheet that I'm using. I'm happy with the physical documents that I'm preparing and keeping in files. The short answer is those documents that you currently maintain are not secure. They can be lost, they can be erased. They can't be easily searched. You have to manually go through documents to try to find a particular financial transaction or to find information about a friend. They're not accessible very easily, except for the person that might have the spreadsheet or have the physical documents. Certainly not accessible to the council, who may need information in order to get a grant to explain what neighbors that we're helping, or certain demographics by way of age or by way of race or by way of gender. CMS takes care of all of that. First of all, you can access the information, all of your information, from any website browser anywhere in the world. So if you're traveling, for example, and you have access to a desktop or a laptop or a pad computer, you can access all of your information about your conference. If you're in the food pantry one day and at home the next day, you can still manage a case. You'll know that all of this is secure. It's securely stored on a server so that the information can't be accidentally erased. The financial transactions follow accounting procedures. They also track the way the National St. Vincent de Paul Society wants our income and expenses tracked in various categories. And one of the huge advantages is the monthly conference report. It will now take the click of a button to generate that report, instead of spending hours going back and trying to manually count cases, trying to add up information, which then gets submitted to the council, and which often is not consistent with the way other conferences are reporting. Through CMS, all of the conferences will capture information the same way and report information the same way, and the council will have access to that information in order to apply for grants. It also will have access to information for audits. It will greatly simplify audits and reduce the paperwork involved in audits. So with that as a bit of an overview, let me walk through the screens just so you have a general understanding. We will have training videos for specific functions that you can find on the council's webpage under Vincentians and dealing with the CMS community. So when you first sign on to CMS in a web browser, and again, this can be done desktop, laptop, iPad, or any other type of pad computer, you're given a unique username and password for you to sign in. And in CMS, you assign various roles. And depending on what roles you assign, you will have different menus. So what you are seeing right now is the home screen. You get to it at any time by pressing this button at the top. These top buttons are all the major functions. So we start with home, which includes the main menu. And what's listed in the main menu will change depending on what roles that you are assigned. And we will come back to this in a minute. It'll also have a task pane where you can get information about your conference. You can get information about the various districts. If you want to know what conferences are in District 2, it lists them. You can then click on each of the conference and get information about that conference, including a list of officers that are within CMS. There are also various conference reports that we will go to shortly. As we review the various functions in CMS, please keep in mind that CMS follows the processes that Vincentians follow when we operate our conference, and when we conduct casework, and when we are engaged in financial transactions. From a very high level, one section of CMS deals with conference administration and information about its members and various roles that are assigned to its members. One section deals with case management, which is helping a friend in need, a neighbor who has contacted us for assistance. Another section deals with Treasury, and that is entering the various financial transactions, whether or not it is assistance related to a particular friend in need, or whether or not it's conference operations expenses. And for those conferences that run a food pantry, there's also a separate section dealing with the food pantry. The process model for CMS is one of initial inquiry. If someone calls requesting assistance, it provides the ability for you to search to see if that person has been previously helped and if their information is already in the system. There's an intake process for entering basic information about the friend in need and about his or her household and what their request entails. There's a section on casework where once the home visit has been assigned to a Vincentian and that Vincentian conducts a home visit, certain information is gathered and entered into CMS. There's a whole section on Treasury where either check requests are issued in response to pledges or requests made by the home visitor, or when certain information about payments for conference operation is entered, or deposits are made from various donations or contributions. And there's a section on reporting where not only the monthly conference report, but a myriad of other reports can be generated using all of the information that has been inputted into CMS. In particularly dealing with a home visit and assistance to a friend who calls the helpline, there's a cycle that is also followed in CMS, where again, you try to locate whether that friend is already in the CMS system, and if not, you can enter new information. You open a case, which then gets assigned to a Vincentian to conduct a home visit. The home visit is conducted. After the home visit, certain information is entered with respect to not only the friend's situation, but also with respect to the assistance that will be provided. The assistance itself is entered, and then once appropriate, payments are made. There's follow-up if necessary with the friend, and then the case is closed. So as we go through each of these sections, you will see that the processes we follow every day are the processes that are part of the CMS. Now let's return to the home screen and discuss the other high-level selection buttons at the top of the CMS screen and discuss their purpose. In addition to this on the home screen, you will see a My Profile, which enters information about the Vincentian, about you, that gives emergency contacts, it gives address, it gives phone numbers, so that other conference members can easily contact you. There's a search function, which now allows you to search every person within the Archdiocese who has received assistance from a St. Vincent de Paul Society conference. Or you can search cases, which are strictly the cases that are handled in your conference. And the search will allow you to put certain parameters in. If you want to search only open cases, if you want to search cases within certain date parameters, it'll allow you to do that. There are other types of searches. You can search by particular caseworkers. You can search by assistance provided. If you know the name of a vendor, a particular apartment complex, and you want to search to determine what payments have been made to that apartment complex. And you can read through all of the other search information. There's also one that says contact information that lets you pull up information about other Vincentians within the Galveston-Houston Council that you may want to contact. There are also documents. Each conference has the ability to upload documents into CMS. So for example, if you want to track your conference reports, your monthly conference report, you can store them so they can be accessed by anybody in your conference who has access to CMS. You can put training materials, meeting minutes, bank statements, any other, your conference resources. These are all subject areas that can be added by the CMS administrator in your conference to provide access to all conference members. There's a user guide, and there are detailed user guides provided by the software developer for all of the various functions. There are also information about how you can access the support that the council provides. And it will provide information about how you can put in a request for information, or if you are having a particular problem, who to contact. There's also information in the user's guide with respect to some of the videos that have been produced by the council to train Vincentians on the use of CMS. There's some written notes. There's much information that can be accessed. Or another way to access information about CMS or how to use CMS is go to the support tab, which actually takes you to the Galveston-Houston website. And this is the CMS community page. It provides information about CMS. If you need to submit a support ticket because of a problem, or if there's an enhancement to CMS you would like to see, there's a way to do that. Most importantly, there are training videos that you can click onto under case management. It shows you all of the various videos that will explain the various aspects of using CMS to enter a case, to enter assistance. There's information for the conference administrator as far as administering the CMS site for your conference. There's also treasurer functions as far as approving pledges and check requests, how to close a month, how to generate reports, how to add debits and credits. If you have a food pantry and have been trained on the food pantry function, there's training videos with respect to that. And there's a video on conducting searches. There are also some archive training videos from the developer of CMS, Aguilar Systems. And then lastly, there's logout, where if you log out of CMS after you're finished, all you have to do is click a button. So let's go back to the home page. The first thing that any Vincentian will see, regardless of what role you have been assigned, are assigned cases, unassigned cases. Also, if you're authorized to do intake, to enter information about a friend, there's case intake. So this menu will look different depending on what roles that you are assigned. And just so that you understand the various roles that are available within CMS, you will see that you can assign various people in your conference to be case managers, case workers, conference administrators. Everybody who's in the conference can be listed as a conference member. One of the benefits doing that is that you can generate a membership roster automatically. Also on home, for example, the unassigned cases. If an intake person or another Vincentian in your conference has entered information about a friend who has called the helpline and asked for assistance and entered basic information into CMS about the identity and about the household of the member, you can always go to unassigned cases. You can click on the unassigned case and it will show you the details that have been entered by the caseworker. If you see information, for example, you can even update this information if necessary. But most importantly, if this is a case that you have been assigned to or that you want to assign to yourself, all you need to do is select the accept button and the case is now assigned to you. It will now move from the unassigned cases into an assigned case. And it lets you now enter information about your visit. It'll let you update information about the friend, update information about the household, give you an opportunity to describe the situation, what assistance you're going to provide, whether it's rental assistance, utility assistance. It'll allow you to attach documents if you want to attach a page of a lease or a utility bill. And it'll show you what check requests or pledges are pending. And then after the assistance has been granted, it will allow you to close the case, to complete it. So again, this was a brief overview of CMS. Go to the other videos in the training site that goes through particular information about how to do case intake, or how to handle the check register, which we discussed before. If you are a treasurer, you will have access to the check register. If you're not a treasurer, you won't. But the check register for the treasurer will allow you to enter all of the checks that you write. It'll also allow you to produce financial reports. And this, again, is one of the greatest functions within CMS, because instead of spending hours counting physical documents, with the click of a button, you can generate the monthly conference report. All the information is captured. It'll give you information about the number of friends you helped, the number of visits you went on. It'll break down into the categories that are needed by the council, both the local Galveston-Houston Council and the National Council, about the different types of assistance that are given. It'll have an appendix on it that breaks things down into further details if you want to see how much was spent on food and groceries, or how much was spent on utilities, what gift cards were given. It'll give client demographics about the ethnicity or gender of the friends and neighbors that we are helping. If you have a program, a Christmas program, it'll track information about that. It'll also give you demographics about zip code, and for hours and miles, there is a feature within CMS that allows you to enter volunteer hours. The hours associated with cases are automatically captured in CMS. So again, this is meant to be only a brief overview to let you know the many benefits of CMS and to let you know what each of the major features involve. Please go to the training website to get additional information from the training video, or you can always write to Ask CMS Committee at svdphouston.org, and a member of the CMS committee or a staff member from the council will respond to you about any questions you might have. If your conference would like in-person training or training by Zoom video, again, send an email to the Ask CMS Committee address and we will set something up for you. I hope that you will find this helpful.